Originally available as SDCC exclusives in 2018, these turtles are now available exclusively at GameStop. Check out the link in the description down below. Pokemon, Kaiju, Dragon Ball, and more. It's Steven's Toy Reviews. Hello collectors, it is Steven here, and I am back with another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle review. You thought they were done, didn't you? Nope, we're still going to continue them. And what a way to get back into the series with the brand new, sort of, GameStop exclusive Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the 1990 movie. Because, I mean, you could kind of pretend they're from the other movies. Anyway, what we have here is a nice case where NECA was able to bring an exclusive to the general market, even though it is a retailer exclusive. So this is great for those of you who already have the boxed set from SDCC 2018, or if you happen to miss out on the pre-sales from NECA. That's right, if you were one of the folks who had it in your cart, got to check out, had NECA process your payment, and then come to a blank screen saying, oh, sorry, we sold out, like I did, twice, then this set is definitely for you. Now, of course, there are going to be some changes to keep the exclusivity of the first set, so let's take a look at the differences here and see whether or not they're worth adding into your collection. Usually never talk about the box in my reviews because, simply put, unless the box is absolutely amazing, over the top, and you're an MISB collector, then the box really isn't that important aside from storage purposes, and well, you know, it gotta at least be in good condition. But here it's nice for two reasons. One, because the original release of these guys at SDCC 2018 saw them come in a nice deluxe VHS style case, so this way you could store all of your turtles similar to the 2017 set. However, here at the general retail release for GameStop, they are all boxed, and they do have a window box to them, which is very, very neat. Now, the overall style for this is just similar to one of the movie posters where they're all popping out of the sewer and taking a look around to see what's going on. And on the back, we just have a promotional shot with all four turtles in nice action poses. Now, I'm showing you Donnie's box here, but don't think that there are super huge differences between the boxes. Each box for the individual turtles are stylized to match that turtle. So Raph's going to have his pictures, Mikey's going to have his pictures, so on and so forth. But everything else is basically going to be the same. Now, I do mention this in a little bit, but also take note that the promotional pictures they have on the box are of the quarter scale turtles and not the 7-inch ones we're taking a look at in this review. Okie dokie, now we're going to actually take a look at the figures here, and I gotta be honest with you folks, NECA made my job relatively easy here. The only thing that I'm really going to have to show you is just a game of spot the differences between the four turtles, because they all use the same body with minor alterations here and there. So that was really smart on NECA's part. However, what wasn't too smart is the fact that there were issues with the 2018 release of these guys, and they were not truly corrected with the individual package released for GameStop. Yeah, that's a bit of a shame. So as you can see here, all four turtles are spinning around on your screen right now on the turntable, and they do look really nice. From far away, you won't notice some of the issues that are present, but when you take a look up close, specifically at the focal point of some of these guys, you're going to notice NECA really did drop the ball. This is apparently something that NECA cannot do with Ninja Turtles, and that is going to be their eyes. You see, my Leonardo, yeah, he's got just a lazy eye, which that's kind of sort of at this point unacceptable considering the 2017 SDCC set had issues with eyes, some of the 2018 set had issues, and now in the individual box releases, we're still dealing with issues with the eyes. But he's not the only one. My Mikey has a little bit of an issue going on too with his eyes. Raph's are okay, not over the top about that one, but Donnie is spot on perfect, and there is nothing to really write home about there. Cool. Well, actually, yeah, I guess I could say they're great. Anyway, like I made mention, the turtles all use the same body with minor differences. So when we take a look at the arms and we take a look at the legs and the plastron for the turtles, they're going to be the same with paint differences, such as the spots that are going to be on them. NECA elected to use some different shading on the figures in some areas on the arms and the legs. Most specifically, though, they also did it on the plastron for each turtle. So there are going to be differences, but they are so minor, you're not really going to notice them unless you have the turtles side by side. So real easy for NECA to mass produce these guys and hopefully get some areas right. So good on them. We can definitely see that there are veins on the turtles. There are clearly defined muscles. The nails where they're at are painted great. All 3 of them on the hands and the 2 on the feet. So good job there. Now for the actual shell, there are some differences here as well. Mikey's going to be the blank slate. So this way you have an idea of what the shell just looks like. And then when we have Donnie and Leo, they are going to have a whole bunch of belts and straps and holsters on their shell, so this way they can hold their weapons. Donnie actually having little ribbon used, so this way he can hold his bow staff in place, which can come untied. Don't worry, just tie a new knot, you'll be good to go. I recommend using tweezers there. However, when we take a look at Raph's shell, we can actually see he has the different shell here because it's all cracked up and it's got a couple of scratches on it. That is pretty neat. Now NECA did a rock solid job for the bodies of these turtles, implementing different paint patterns here and there, even though they're minor. However, when it comes to things like the head, NECA completely botched the release with the eyes, and in a couple of areas, the masks, the blindfolds with holes in them, yeah, they didn't really look all that perfect, as you saw in some of the pictures. Now, since the turtles share the same parts, same body, essentially across all 4, the articulation is basically going to be the same. Now, across several hundred, thousands, I don't know, units, the joints may be loose on some, tighter on others, maybe something doesn't fit, but essentially what you're seeing here is exactly what you're going to be getting across all 4 turtles. So for the sample, we are going to use Leonardo. And the range of movement is pretty solid. However, if you take a look at the back of the box for the figures, the promotional pictures that they use the quarter scale turtles, which have a better range of movement than these guys. So don't go buy the promotional pictures. What do we have? Well, the head attaches into the neck on a ball joint, and a really awesome ball joint. So basically, the turtles can look straight down. They can look almost straight up, which is awesome. Obviously, pull an exorcist moment and spin around, whatever you would need. Now, what is a little interesting here, and I do commend NECA for doing this because they're not one to always go the extra mile for articulation, but check this out. I'm skipping ahead here. There's an ab crunch with another ball joint. So you get a little bit of extra movement, so this way you can get the turtles to just pose a little nicer, which is always awesome to see. Now we're going to go ahead and continue on down the normal path of articulation for me, where we do have swivel hinge shoulders. So this way you can spin the arms, raise them and lower them, move them in, move them out. Range is about that much. We don't have to worry about the plastron bumping in to the arms for movement, just because of the way it's designed. Now, we do have double hinged elbows, and this is where one fault of the turtles comes into play. They have these big, bulky elbow pads and knee pads, so they are going to block the range of movement just a bit. You're not really going to get a full 90-degree bend, which does suck in some situations. But at the end of the day, if you're real careful, that elbow pad definitely is pliable, so you can force the joints a little bit more, so this way that will bend. Now, for the default hands, they just have a hinge which allows them to move forward and back like that, and they're on a peg, so they do swivel. Unlike the 2017 TMNT set and the quarter scale in some places, this is basically going to be the only range of movement across all of the hands you're going to have. Now, in the 2017 Turtles set, you were able to have one set of grabby hands, I guess, that had a hinge that allowed you to move the hands that way and that way instead of just that way and that way. Hope that makes some sense. Unfortunately, you're not going to have this with these 4 turtles. So anyway, that covers the top half of the body. Let's go on to the bottom, where we do have swivel hinge hips. So Turtles are going to be able to do splits out about that far thanks to a little bit of a rubber material here. It does give way, so this way you can move the turtle's legs, so that's cool. And that's about how far forward and how far back they're going to go just because of the range of movement with the shell. Now, we do also get thigh swivels where the hips plug into the legs, so that is great. We do have double hinge knees, so do be careful there because of the knee pad. And then for the feet, at the ankles, we do have swivels and hinges here, so this way we can get the feet to move forward and back and also get a perfect ankle rocker out of these guys, just like you would on a high-end import figure. That is awesome. Now, something that I must stress to you guys, this is a NECA figure. They're all NECA figures. Definitely give them a good heat treatment before you start moving them, so this way they do not break on you because don't know if you're going to be able to get a replacement. I had a couple of stuck joints before I started moving them around, so you want to fix that. Oh, by the way, this little portion of the headband is on a swivel, so you can spin around. Also on pegs, and you'll see why later. Now, one of the faults that I have to say is true with the articulation here is not all of the turtles can realistically safely reach back and grab their weapons while they are still holstered. So, like, for Leo's sword, it kind of works, but unfortunately, the exact angle, you can't really reach it without maybe forcing something where you shouldn't. This is true for Raph holding the size in his belt, Donnie reaching back to grab his staff, and then Mikey with the nunchucks. So you got to be careful there. But overall, for the articulation, the turtles are able to move wonderfully, and you can put them in a whole bunch of fun poses, even though at some points the range is a bit limited. NECA did a really great job getting these guys to move. Now, when it comes to accessories, the turtles all basically come with the same things, though changed a bit to match the specific turtle. We get their weapon, we get splayed hands, we get a replacement part for their mask, so this way you can have the little bandana portion thingy flying on the other side of their body, and then they all come with a slice of pizza. That is awesome. So first and foremost, let's go ahead and take a look at the extra hands that they come with. Leo is going to come with a set of karate chopping hands, so this is pretty cool. We're going to have Donnie, who comes with some pointing hands. That's great. He can point at what he's going to go after. And then we have Raph, who comes with an alternate set of splayed hands, though you can use these, so this way he can hold his sai a little differently. Pretty cool. And then we have Mikey, who's going to come with 2 thumbs up. So that is great to see here. We have a little bit of character in these releases. Now, what's also cool is you don't have to use them specifically for the turtle that they come with. You can also swap them with other turtles because, well, all the hands are basically going to look the same across them all. Now, for their individual weapons, we're going to take a look at Leonardo's swords, katanas, whatever you'd prefer to call them, depending on the iteration. It's pretty cool. Now, the actual silver that they used for the metal of the blade is really cool because it's not all even, so it does give it a little bit of character and makes it look almost rusted in a little bit of a way, all the way down to the hilt. Well, unfortunately, you are going to see a little bit of a seam line there. Not that big of a deal, though. Now, we're going to go ahead and take a look at Donnie's bow staff, which does look cool. We do see the rope that is used for where he is going to grab it, and it does actually have a little bit of a wood aesthetic to it, so that is good to see. We do have Raph's sais, which unfortunately don't come to a point. They kind of look dull, but just like Leo's swords, they also have a nice metallic paint to them. And then we are going to take a look at Mikey's nunchoku, which do look nice. Does look like it's made out of wood, but there's one issue that I have. They use a little bit of glue so this way they can hold the string in this case in place, and it does affect the bendability of it, and I am worried it's going to fray and break over time. But that being said, maybe it's okay. Maybe we can salvage it. Now, real quick, I just want to touch on the headbands, the bandanas, the masks, whatever you would prefer to call them. Now, the way that you swap them out is simply pulling out the little dangly part, and then you just plug it into the hole on the back of their head. Now, I was able to do this with all 3 of my turtles, except for Leo here, which I believe he has a quality control issue. The hole is, first and foremost, too small, and the majority of the back of the bandana is in the hole in his head. So And once I pulled out the little dangly bit, I couldn't force it back in. It took me about an hour to do that. And for whatever reason, his alternate one is made of a softer, more pliable material, almost like a rubber, than the other 3 turtles' alternate bandana dangly bit thing. So that was a bit disappointing. And it took me an hour to get the default one back in. So that's a bit disappointing. So also, here's a nice comparison with Donnie's hole in the back of his head. So this way you can clearly see there's a significant difference here. I don't quite like that too much. Like I made mention, all turtles come with one accessory specifically in common, and that is a slice of pizza. This is about what it looks like. It looks like we got some mushroom, onions, and peppers on there. Oh yeah, you can't beat that. And this actually does look nice for the scale. Of course, right now I'm showing you a super duper up close picture. It doesn't look all that bad from far away. So all in all, the turtles come with a lot of really neat accessories that are nice for them. And what is different between this release and the 2018 SDCC release? Canister and a full box of Domino's pizza, which if you're looking to get a box of pizza, to be honest, it shouldn't be that difficult to make one on your own. A little bit of cardboard and a decal or a nice cut out of piece of paper. Anyway, overall, the accessories that we do get here for these guys, pretty sweet. Now, what is a little bit disappointing, though, is that there's only one head sculpt for each turtle. And this is a critique that I had of the 2017 set as well. I really got to get that review up and running. But back to the point, these guys are relatively expressive, yet they only have one expression with them. So that's a little disappointing. But you know what? At the end of the day, NECA did include a whole bunch of goodies in each one of these boxes. So kudos to them. And of course, if you need effect parts to go with these guys, there's a video for that. Maybe a stand to go with these guys too as well. You might need 1 or 4 of those. But in sum, I do think the accessories are nice. And if they do come out with, medieval or kung fu versions of these guys down the line, maybe we'll get some more accessories as well. Now we're going to go ahead and go with a size comparison for you folks, so this way you can see exactly how big these turtles are going to be on your shelf, or maybe along with some other figures you just might have. And these guys are definitely big. They are going to be bigger than the 2017 turtles. So if that is your reference point, yeah, these guys will unfortunately not blend in too well, but they do blend in nicely with other NECA related figures. So if you're a hardcore 7-inch scale fan, these guys will be just fine for you. So, buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. Overall, the turtles look great, but NECA does suffer from one quality control issue they simply cannot nail with humanoid characters, and that is going to be eye decals. The articulation is rock solid, though, personal preference, I'd prefer a little bit better range of movement, and the accessories they come with, honestly, they are fitting to the characters, and what else could they come with aside from the stuff that was omitted from the SDCC release, which was omitted for a good reason. That being said, I do feel like these guys are worth the $22.99 price tag at max. Yeah, I do have to say they're pretty solid figures, but I do question the longevity of some of the materials that are used here and whether or not the glue is going to hold up for some of the bands that are used on them. Do not give in to scalpers, folks. Don't worry, GameStop will have plenty of these to go around in the weeks to come after this review is posted. A couple years from now, though, well, who knows if GameStop is going to be even around next year. So get them while you definitely can at the link in the description down below. Now, some of you are probably wondering, hey, Steven, can we see these turtles in action shots? And I have to say, absolutely, over on my Patreon. So if you're interested in seeing these turtles kicking some foot soldier booty, head on over there and I have plenty of pictures for you. Anyway, at the end of the day, these turtles are great for collectors who are looking to have some 90s movie accurate turtles in their collection. And I do have to say, overall, NECA gets a pass. Well, collectors, that brings us to the end of the video today, and I just wanted to take a second to thank you so much for watching. Now, you've heard a lot from me. I'd like to hear a little bit from you. Drop in the comments down below whether or not you liked it, you hated it, or maybe you were somewhere in between. I also want to take an extra second here for a nice, humongous thank you to all the patrons for SDR over the last month who have really helped the channel grow into what it can be today. So to all of you, 2 big thumbs up. Thank you very much. And now the end card should be popping up, which will give you a few clickable links, like maybe to subscribe or head on over to my Patreon, or some short URLs like to my social media or to my Teespring store. There's also a video I hand-selected for you, so if you want to watch another STR video, I hand-selected some good content for you to watch, so definitely check out that video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.